Hello YouTube, Nathan Dewey here doing an account update. It is May 25th, 2013. It has been over a year since I closed my list back in March of 2012, and as the title suggests, my wait list is officially open. Before you start sending me messages, I want to go through a few things with you in this video, so please wait until you watch the entire video to start contacting me and asking me questions. Again, there's nothing wrong with questions, but sometimes it does get redundant, so please bear with me. First of all, pricing. Prices are going to have to go up. Expect a little bit of inflation. I just got a new grinder. I have bills to pay, so in order for me to continue doing this, I will have to elevate my prices slightly, just to keep things going and to ultimately improve the overall quality of my work. It used to be you could expect to pay, depending on what you wanted, between 80 to 200, 220. Now it's more like 100 to 300, 350, depending on what you want. If you are on my list and you give me an idea, first thing I'm going to do is give you a quote. Now, when I give you a quote, I'm going to give you two numbers. What this does, it provides a high and a low, which means it could be either as high as this or as low as this. This is to allow me some wiggle room depending on mishaps, materials, extra stuff I have to do, and depending on how difficult the build is or how smoothly it goes, you could either save some money or you could pay the high, but that's the high. It's set. You're not going to pay any more than that. I will also ask for a non-refundable deposit. How I'll work out the deposit is, in the quote, you take the high and low, you average that out, you take half of the average, and that is the deposit. And of course, after I finish the build, depending on how difficult it is, I'll just, the deposit minus the rest. And that's how it's done. Also, the way the process works, I'm all about options. So if you feel like that you have an idea and your heart is really set on it, and you're thinking that I might not be listening to you, or I'm trying to make my knife, not yours, please tell me. If you don't like the ideas I present you, tell me. If you don't like how the build is going, tell me. If I almost have this knife finished and at last minute you decide I just don't like it, I want to start over, tell me. We can do that. I'll have to charge the high, but if I have to completely rebuild a knife, the high is not going to cover it. It's not like I'm getting the money for two Balisons. I'm getting money for one. I'm paying the extra because something I did wrong, and I'm going to rebuild and fix it because ultimately customer satisfaction is key. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's just the way it is. Don't feel guilty. If I make something you don't like, tell me. Communication is everything. I'm all about options. Standards. Naturally, with the higher cost goes higher standards. I was told in a conversation with custom knife maker Matt Cook, a Pinoy knife, a man I deeply admire, that apparently every maker goes through a 200 knife curb. I am approximately at 120, so I'm not at that curb yet. I'm obviously still learning, but at the place I am right now, I am very happy with myself with the standards I have now and at the price I can offer it. This is the new standard. This is the newest installation of the Fiend line. I'm calling it the Ultra Fiend. This was a result of a lot of trial and error. A lot of trial and error in terms of flipping, in terms of build, in terms of tolerances, precision, all that good stuff. Weight on this is 5.4 ounces, and I dare to say this is the best flipper I have built so far. Possibly could rival the Alpha Beast. Maybe. You get a slightly longer blade. I do offer different grinds. Chisel grind is still standard. It's simple to do. If you want something else, it won't cost a whole lot more. I can do a standard two-sided taper grind or flat grind. I got my new grinder, which has a 4-inch contact wheel, so a two-sided hollow grind is still within the realms of possibility, but I'm still going by ear on that one. So if you want a two-sided grind, expect a nice convex or a flat. You have stainless steel liners for strength, heavily drilled out for balance. Again, this is 5.4 ounces. Basically what I did is I took the original Archfiend and just compacted it. I made it less bulky. It has slightly shorter handles, but it doesn't, I mean, look at that. You're not missing any amounts of handle. I think I sacrificed maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe. The Archfiend did kind of have comically long handles with a short blade, which is why, in order to help out the balance and give it an almost pendulum effect, I made the blade longer so you get more knife. Pivots are spaced closer together. This allows, again, going back on making it compact, and it also allows someone with shorter handles to make it more dexterous and easier to manipulate. It has thick, beefy spacers that are not the same stock as the blade. The blade is 3/32. This is 1/8. What that does, it allows proper room for the washers and helps zero out the play. You also don't have to worry about the blade snagging against the handles. And you'll also notice that the latch has its own pivot. Again, going back on tolerances, it's a lot smoother, there's less play, it's a lot more quiet, and opposed to just a straight screw, it's not going to loosen as easily because it has an actual pivot on it, and it's not just rubbing against the screw, which can cause it to loosen out like a Bradley Camara. Materials vary depending on what you want. This is 180, but I could easily see making something that's more customizable. I mean, we could do titanium, we can do carbon fiber. Well, carbon fiber is kind of tricky, but yeah, depending, yeah, you could probably do that. But again, depending on what you want, standard, expect to pay 180 for a full-size bully song. Contact. The easiest way to contact me is you private message through YouTube, the Jersey Devil forums, and Blade forums. I don't frequent the flipping arena anymore. I'll respond to it, but if you ask a question on there, I'll probably not read it. So, Jersey Devil, YouTube, Blade forums. Those are the easiest ways to contact me. Private message, please. Also, if you're going to ask me certain questions, please compact your questions into a list of questions. You know, sometimes I'll get private messages, they'll ask me one question, and I'll respond, and I said, hey, I have another question, and I'll respond, like, hey, I have another question, hey, I'll respond, and it really fills up your inbox pretty quickly. I don't allow a whole lot of extra room for the Jersey Devil in my private messages because I like to keep it there, so kind of looking back, posterity, that's the word, posterity. So please be conservative with the private messages. Give me your name, your full name, no aliases, again, email address, and phone number that you can be reached. So again, Be conservative with your messages. Full name, email address, phone number. I'll give you a spot on the list. You'll get a number, and I will contact you when you are when I am ready to take your order. Something to note, I still have people on my list. I have approximately 12 people left on the list, so I'm not completely done, but the number is manageable. So if you contact me now after this video and thinking I'm going to get something right now, sorry. You know, I have 12 people or less ahead of you. It could take me a few months or 6 months or 9 months. You know, it just depends. So please be patient with me. I will contact you. Alright. Get you another look at that grinder. That's a Kalamazoo. Just a simple 2 contacts, belt, motor, very quiet. Still got the drill press, bench grinder for just basic grinding. I don't have the plasma cutter anymore. I sold that. And the bench, the bandsaw I had, the little mini bandsaw. Word of advice with bandsaws: if you're gonna get one, don't cheap out. Get something that will actually stand on its own. Otherwise, you're just gonna be disappointed, and the thing is just gonna fly off and just ugh. Yeah. I still do bar stock removal. Basically, what I do is I drill a bunch of holes or stress cuts around the material, and then just cut and grind it to the proper shape. That is the most efficient way I have found to do it. You use up a little bit more material, but the finished product is worth it. Also, you'll notice this has a finer finish. This is a combination of hand rub and then buff. This is still a Sandvik steel, which is a little bit prone to rusting, so the way that you remedy that is you tighten up the pores with buffing. So opposed to my other knives out there where I just did the open kind of rough satin finish, this will not rust up as easily. Again, it's a knife, it's steel. Use common sense, take care of your blades. Alright, thank you for watching. Here's to a whole nother year, a new list. Thanks for looking, take care.